Hello everybody, this is Newton13, the owner and founder of South Central Beta. I'd like to just kind of go over some things on why South Central particularly shut down, what caused that, and then the future of South Central, as I know of it, okay? So, for starters, I'd like to address and state what caused the shutdown. So, to kind of, give you guys the basis of it is, I got really burnt out on everything. And I believe I've made that pretty vocal, but I just wanted to kind of state that again. So what kind of caused that burnout was there was quite a few factors, but within the game not being shut down, the quality of roleplay was declining, and that definitely did contribute to the burnout. Because it was a lot to handle. There was a lot of work going into it, and the gun control was awful. Everybody had guns and everything. The factions were overrolling the roleplay environment. That's not something I wanted to go for. And I'm going to be honest, this is partially my fault, because as a game owner I should have stepped in and, stopped some of the things that were occurring in the community, which improved the quality of roleplay. I just don't believe that I was competent enough, and I'll be honest and I'll admit that. I did some competency issues, and as the game grew, we went from about 10 players each day to about 25 to 30 every day. This was going through weekdays too, so this was people had work, school, and all that, and we still had a lot of players. And I wasn't necessarily prepared to run such a big game, and I feel like we could say South Central was a big game. I feel like that's an understandable statement. On top of that, I was balancing other things as well, and I couldn't put my complete focus on South Central. I had a UGC career going on, which I was generating millions of Robux from. I was balancing that with South Central. It was a lot to do. And as South Central grew and then the workload increased with South Central, it became increasingly difficult to continue to shift my focus completely on it. And as my focus divided, things started to kind of get out of control, and it just wasn't really something that I wanted to continue to do. I've learned a lot from running South Central. I've learned a lot as a person. I've learned a lot about owning and running stuff. I definitely could have done things better, and I wish I had. The game could have been more successful, this and that. I do believe the game had a really good run. If this is the last day I talk about South Central, or if it's up and running tomorrow, I will say that South Central was a really fun game. It was a really fun game to, play. But it was not a fun game to manage, and my admins can agree with this, because we had constant tickets opened about RDM, this and that, and it was just all bullshit, and it was all because of the factions, the increase in faction roleplay, which was the a big majority of the game population was involved in factions and that kind of roleplay, that kind of hood roleplay, and the game started to kind of transition into that, and I wasn't really happy with that. I didn't really want that to be the main focus of the game. There's a lot of stuff behind that. I'm not gonna get deeply into that, because if you were a player of the game, then you obviously know, and if you were a part of a faction, then you understand how difficult it was to regulate those factions. And we did remove a lot of factions. Some factions had decent roleplay, some were just awful, and yeah. So let's talk about the new map, right? So the new map development was a priority for me. As most people know, that I bought that map for a separate reason before officially starting the South Central game, and I kind of transitioned that what I bought it for into South Central. And it was a small map, it was bought. It wasn't really fitting to the environment that I wanted for the game. It was really small for the amount of players we were gaining and everything. So that's why the beta game closed. Okay, so I don't want you guys to think that South Central shut down when the beta game closed, because that's not true. It started to shut down when I was working on the new map. We had some issues inside the development team, which I'm not going to kind of go into. It wasn't nothing serious, but it of course did lead to me being less avid on working on the map. I spent a lot of time working on the map, and spent days and nights working on new content and everything. And that definitely led to being burnt out. And I feel like anybody that's ran or managed anything, or developed or owned a game, can understand being burnt out. And I don't want to continue something where I don't have like my full heart and focus on, because it really would lead to shit. There was a lot of new content that was gonna be in the new game. I was working on a lot of cars. I was working on the map. I was doing a lot of things on my own, and I don't want to discredit my development team at all. There's some great people. We started with 4 developers, and we ended with 2, including myself. So that did occur. It became harder and harder to develop everything because a lot of the things I was doing on my own. New civilian vehicles. All these civilian vehicles for the new map were made by me. They were fresh. They were good. They looked good. It took a little bit of time to make, and I wanted to get all that stuff out. There's a lot of other things that are brand new content in the map that definitely took a lot of time to do. And currently, when you're doing this and you're trying to balance other workloads on top of this and staying up, late and doing all this shit, it's not very fun. And to be honest with you guys, a big issue that I ran into is I ran out of ideas for jobs and everything. I promised that there would be new jobs, more diverse jobs, this and that, fun things to do. But I just couldn't think of any job ideas, I had like envisions for like the McDonald's job where you could do like burgers and fries and this and that, and I just couldn't get it out on you get it on paper and you just can't work it out, So that was a big issue for me. And to be honest with everybody, the map is like nearly finished. Like me and my development team worked very hard on the map, and we got it almost completely finished. And I just had no passion to commit to it and complete it. So probably the main reason that you guys are watching this video, if you're still around, is you want to know about the future of South Central, and that's completely understandable because a lot of people still want South Central, and I'm very grateful that I still have the community and still have the supporters that I do. So I am working on things behind the scene here and there. I'm hoping that'll kind of make me want to regain a spark, or help me get out of that burnout phase. Here, little things here and there, vehicles, just some systems, some scripting. It might not even be directly for South Central, but it's something I'll use for South Central. Just new content and whatnot. So the quality of roleplay and all that stuff, all of the things that were, big factors into the community, just like the people not liking the game anymore and I wanted to play it, would cause my admin team to be really stressed out at a lot of things. Were the quality of roleplay. It was really bad. If you played the game, then factions and guns would be on a very strict program. It'd be a lot more difficult to get guns. You'd have strawmen that could sell guns. I'm planning on doing a strawman system. I had people in place for that, or somebody in place for that. Factions would be a lot different. The factions wouldn't get guns off the bat. You'd have to work up to that. I would hope for diversity in roleplay for civilians and stuff, with unique jobs and everything. But like I previously stated, I ran out of job ideas, so that's kind of holding me back. And if you guys have any suggestions for anything that you want to see new, if I do reopen South Central, in regards to jobs and everything, you can shoot me a DM. I'm very open to responding to DMs. And a lot of people in the community still want the game, and I'm hoping that I can eventually give it to them, because South Central it had a good legacy. And I'm confident that everybody could agree that South Central was a very fun game, and I can say that for myself too. I enjoyed playing South Central. It was very fun. I met a lot of great people. It was very fun to roleplay in. Like I stated previously, it was just not fun to manage and run. All the admins just, it was very stressful for them. And I'm not going to say that it wouldn't be stressful. Of course it's going to be stressful. And we can all handle stress. It just gets to a certain point where you kind of have, like I previously stated, you start to run out of passion and you start to get burnt out. And I'm not trying to excuse everything by me getting burnt out, but that really is just the truth. I just want to continue working on everything. I mean, that's just the truth. I can't sugarcoat it. I mean, I got burnt out. I didn't want to work on anything more. I actually took a break, a little bit of a break in development and everything. And during that break, I was like, oh, this is fucking great. I need to continue the break. And then I never touched South Central for a while. And then I eventually made an announcement. I said, hey, if it isn't already clear, I'm not going to be working on South Central anymore. Don't DM me. None of this. And I didn't really give clarity on why. So I really just want to make this video to kind of, give you guys some clarity on what happened, where I've been, what my plans are for the future, and I'm hoping that soon South Central can return. I just don't know if today or tomorrow is the best time. Or maybe I don't. You know, there's no guarantee that I'm gonna continue working on South Central. It's just kind of a background thing for me. But I understood that a lot of people wanted some clarity. A lot of people wanted to know what happened. So like I said, I thought I'd make this video for everybody. I appreciate everybody for sticking around. If you have any questions that you want to ask me, my DMs are open. I appreciate everybody for tuning in.